But when we were there, we're like, "Dos Sao Chien," and they were like, "Oh, yeah." It's May now of 2020. I went to China in March of 2019. So this video is like a year late. I just didn't want to do too much at once. But now that we're on quarantine, I have more than enough time. So this video is gonna be a Q&A about my China trip. Basically, I got a lot of questions over the year since I've gone. So I'm just gonna answer some basic questions for anybody who wants to visit and not pay like $10,000 for those China group trips. You can really plan it on your own. That's what me and my friend Tessa did. We did all the planning on our own, all the research on our own. So I'm gonna hopefully help you guys a little bit, shorten some research. Yeah, so let's get started. So one of the questions was, what city did I go to? What city did we go to? We went to Guangzhou, China. I'm gonna like leave little bars down there. We went to Guangzhou, China. There's other districts within Guangzhou, China, but that's the large one. So when you're booking your flight, you're gonna put Guangzhou, China. And there's an airport maybe like 30 minutes, 40 minutes away from the city. It's called Baiyun Airport, I wanna say. Baiyun. My next question was, what airline did we take? We took China Southern. I have nothing but good things to say about China Southern. I was really scared about taking a 15-hour flight and it being really uncomfortable the whole way there. Really the only issue was the crying baby on our flight. If you watched my previous vlog about the trip, there was a crying baby. I finally knocked out, but when I woke up, the baby was still crying. So I'm like, did they cry the whole 15 hours? But yeah, really that was the only problem. The seats were really comfortable. They lean back at a nice angle, so you're not just sitting up sleep for a 15-hour flight. And they have like this little stash on the side of the seat where you could put your belongings in like the little stash right there. And they feed you 2 times, once like an hour into the flight, and they feed you maybe 2 hours before the flight lands. So I really liked it. It was comfortable. The food was doable. The food was definitely doable. But yeah, I liked it. How long was the flight? I think I just answered that. The flight was 15 hours. We made sure that we got a red-eye flight because I don't do nonstops. I can't do a nonstop flight, especially on a flight that's that long. So what we did to make our trip a little bit easier and bearable, we booked a red-eye flight. A red-eye flight is a flight that you take overnight, that goes on into overnight hours. So our flight was at about 9 p.m. So we fell asleep not too long after we got on the plane. After we ate and everything, we knocked out. And we didn't wake up until we're almost landing, when they woke us up to eat again. So it was definitely good. So if you can, try to get a red-eye flight and try to get a nonstop. Los Angeles is probably one of the only airports I want to say that actually has nonstops. If you're coming from somewhere else, you're most likely gonna stop at Los Angeles and then fly from there. If you're coming from the US, I don't think there was any other nonstops other than from Los Angeles. Our next question was how to communicate. So before we were going, we did a lot of research. We probably over-researched. I don't actually know. There is no such thing as over-researching when you're going to a foreign country that you know nothing about. But we downloaded an app called Say Hi. With that app, you speak into the microphone on your phone. It'll translate it. It'll write the words and translate it into their language for you. They speak a language called Cantonese. That's the language there. It's actually not even Chinese. It's Cantonese. I really think that the Say Hi app, you know what? They need to pay me for promotion right now because it's Say Hi app was a really good app. It was really helpful. Like, if it wasn't for that app, we probably wouldn't have been able to communicate with a few of our vendors. But a lot of the vendors that we did go to, they actually do know some English, and I was really surprised about that. But there's a good majority of them that know English, or at least little pieces and bits of English. I definitely recommend that you at least try to learn some of their language. Say if someone comes, I feel like if you go to any country, it's just common decency to learn like the basics of their language. We learned how to say hi, which is ni hao. We learned how to say how much, do sao chien. When we were there, we're like, do sao chien. And they're like, oh, yeah. Don't judge me if I didn't say it right. But, you know, so like just try to learn the basics. Thank you was xie. And yeah, so we made sure that we learned, and we tried to learn at least one word a day, so that we can, you know, just get a feel of the culture. And you know, it's good if you just learn something. It's a part of traveling too. It wasn't only a business, well, it was a business trip, but you can make it a cultural visit. So learn some of the languages when you go to countries. Learn some words. What did we eat when we were there? That's a great question. Our hotel actually had food upstairs. They would serve breakfast, they would serve lunch, they would serve dinner. We never really ate lunch there because when we would go out, we only spent 5 days there, so we were taking advantage. We wouldn't be at the hotel during the day. We're out and about scouting vendors and getting more things for our business. I was kind of scared and precautious of the things that we ate because I heard some bad things. And you know, I had an open mind when I went though, but mostly we ate like noodles or rice. We try to keep it a little simple. We found a Pizza Hut around the corner from our hotel. We walked there. It took like 30 minutes, but we found a Pizza Hut. Something different about their pizza is that it has corn in it, but it was actually really good. Oh my gosh. And we had this drink, it's called cheese tea. I actually think that they have that out here in the US, which I didn't know, but my first time having it was in China. And it's like this drink, and you could get mango or strawberry like type smoothie at the bottom, and then at the top it's like some type of cream cheese or something. It's really good, like cream cheese whipped cream at the top of the drink. Days and days of eating only noodles and rice, we actually found a restaurant. It was called Bergiorno's. You know, like the Italian. Yeah, Bergiorno. Okay. They had pasta, and I was really like relieved to find it because it was something that was similar to home. You know, we have Italian food in America. What hotel did we stay at? We stayed at a hotel called Paco Hotel. They actually have about 3 chain hotels there. I do not remember the exact one that it was, but if I do remember, I'll drop the link of what hotel it was. It was actually really, I'm not gonna say cheap, but it was affordable. That's the proper word. It was super affordable. We stayed there, I want to say 5 days, 4 nights. So we spent 4 nights at the hotel, and it was literally $300 for 4 nights. And it wasn't of course it's not a US chain hotel, which people are really scared about. They want to go for a US chain hotel because they want to stick to what they know. But I do want to say that this was actually a really good hotel. This was a really good hotel. And I actually heard from there's actually a lot of Africans in China. Yeah, go figure. There's a lot of Africans in China, like a lot. They actually stay at little smaller hotels. I think it's one called Tong Tong, something like that. There's other high-end Chinese chain hotels. It's called Garden Hotel. Super nice. They have like little malls in there. We went to just go visit, but they have like little malls, waterfalls. It's really nice. But the one that we specifically stayed at was Paco Hotel, and it was very nice. Very nice. $300, 4 nights, and mind you, it was me and my friend, so that's $150 a person. So you do the math. I should have answered this in the beginning, but they want to know, do you need a visa to go to China? Yes, you do. If you're in the US, I don't know about any other country, but you do need a visa to go to China. The visa process was actually really, actually I'm not gonna say it was really easy because I had to YouTube a video on how to fill it out. But you know what? Don't even do that. All you have to do, actually, yeah, do that. But you don't write in. You actually have to do it digital. So you have to go into the visa office and do it on their computer. You don't do it on your own computer, if you get what I'm saying. You have to type in everything. You don't print it out and write it. That's one thing that I messed up on, but there are YouTube videos on here for you to learn how to do your visa. And I want to say it actually came really fast. The visa took maybe like a week to come. And ooh, how much was it? I want to say the visa was anywhere from $80 to $100. You go do it on visacentral.com, and make sure when you're filling out the form to get it, make sure you're saying that you're going there to be a tourist and not for work or for business, because you're gonna get a different type of visa that you don't want, or you're gonna get charged more. So make sure that you mark tourist, not business or work. Mark tourist, because you're gonna need some type of license to go do work abroad. So definitely mark tourist. What else? I can't even remember right now. Yeah, mark tourist. They're gonna ask you if you want like someone to help you, or if you want to do it on your own. I would say do it on your own, because when you go in the office, they'll still help you with a couple questions here and there. But if you want them to do it completely, it's gonna run you like $300, which is just unnecessary, because it could definitely be done by yourself. But if you have the extra money to spend, then I say go for it. But you could definitely do it on your own and just ask a couple questions here and there. And you could look for Chinese visa YouTube videos in the search on YouTube. Visa will last you 10 years. It'll be a 10-year visa for you to go in and out of China. So it'll be a one-time fee for the next 10 years once you get it. So that's a plus. How did you guys manage the money? The money is called yuan or RMB. That's what they would call it when we were there. So say they tell you 56 RMB. You're gonna do 56 divided by 7. That means it's only $8 US. That was the exchange rate at the time. I don't know if it's still the same. But really, stuff out there is like so cheap. I couldn't freaking believe it. And before, I was like going through US vendors, and I just realized how much I was getting ripped off. Like the US vendors add about $10. I sell children's clothing. The US vendors were adding about $10 to how much it costs in China. So something in China would be $5, and they were selling it over here for like 16, and I'm just like, okay. Won't be going back to US vendors. I've been doing business in China, but the coronavirus is messing a lot of things up right now. I'm not even getting shipments right now, so I'm kind of wishing I had US vendors. But then I'm realizing, like, if I'm not getting my things from China, then that means they're probably not getting their things either. So off topic, how did I get my inventory home? If you have me on Instagram, or if you watch my vlog, you guys can go watch those if you haven't already. But if you watch my vlog, you know I had a bunch of inventory, like a big old packet. And you know, I'm ordering and ordering, like, this is so cheap, just ordering away. And they have it ready for you within like an hour, or sometimes the next day you'll have to go back. But it's just like an hour or a day that they want to get the stuff. So really not that long. You get your stuff really fast. But yeah, I'm like, this is cheap. So boom, boom, boom. I'm ordering, dropping money. I was dropping money, and so it got to a point I had so much inventory, and mind you, I only came with a carry-on case, a little carry-on case. I didn't bring any other suitcase. So I'm sitting there like, only my clothes fit in my carry-on case. So I'm just like, how am I gonna get this stuff home? So basically what I ended up doing was going to go buy a suitcase from one of the wholesale markets. I went and bought a suitcase. What I didn't know is that our flight let us have two check-in suitcases and one carry-on. $17 each. You know, you're not getting check-in bags for $17 in US. Those are like $70. So like I was saying, China's cheap, and I basically packed everything into those bags. People be like, oh, doesn't customs stop you if you have like things to resell. Actually, customs actually caught me because I had a lighter or a knife, I can't remember, in my suitcase, and they stopped me like, what is this? And they had to open my suitcase, and they actually saw the inventory, and it didn't bother them. I was like, phew. Because I heard that they'll like confiscate your stuff if you're trying to go back to resale. So customs weren't tripping on my inventory at all. So that was a plus. You're allowed 2 check-ins and 1 carry-on bag if you're on China Southern. That's how you can get all your inventory back home. So when we were in China, they were telling us like, oh, we don't ship. When you go to certain vendors, if it's not the beauty vendors, they'll tell you that they don't ship to US. So what you do is you go look for a cargo service that's close over there. They have a lot of different cargo service. You'll notice it'll say DHL, EMS. So you walk into one of those buildings, you communicate, you build a relationship. I met an awesome cargo service person. Her name is Wendy. I still keep in contact with her till this day. So yeah, they'll go, and it's actually better to have a cargo service because they'll communicate with the vendors for you. You know, they're of the same culture, so they could communicate and bargain better and get you better deals. So they'll do that, and they make sure that all your inventory has no defects and everything is good. Otherwise, there's been times where an item had a defect and Wendy would go back to the vendor and ask them to change it out because it was defective. So they make sure all my inventory is good. I don't get any defective items. So cargo service is definitely a plus, well worth it. And at first I was kind of skeptical because she wanted me to pay through Western Union, and I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna scam me. But I'm like, scare money doesn't make money. She wanted me to send her, I think the first shipment was $200 for like 50 pairs of shoes, children's shoes. So that was really good. I Western Unioned her the $200. I got my things within 5 days. You go, Wendy. Other people also wanted to know what were the wholesale markets that we went to. The one that I do remember the specific name for, they're gonna be so mad I'm sharing this with y'all, but it's called the Beauty Exchange Center. They have hair, nail stuff, eyelash stuff, packaging. Like that's like the main market in Guangzhou. All your beauty care needs. You guys, I have no idea how I left this question out, but one of the questions was, what was the total cost of our trip? How much did we spend as a whole? I would say we spent less than $4,000. To get there alone was less than $1,000. We spent $550 on our flight, $140 for our visa, and $150 each for our hotel, which only totals out to about $840. On inventory, we brought about $1,000 to $2,000 to spend. So as a whole, you know, even for food, we probably spent about less than $200 to eat for 4 days, 5 days. But as a whole, the trip was less than $4,000. The next thing that I did forget to mention and answer was, how did we get around? I actually mentioned it in part 1 of my vlog, but I'm also going to say it here. We used the Didi app, which is basically like a Chinese Uber. You pay cash since you don't have a Chinese bank account. And this app actually helps you avoid getting overcharged by taxis because they figure you don't know any better. The app shows you the cost of the ride from the beginning, just as Uber does. So this is a great app to download and to get around. And one more thing, this wasn't a question that anyone asked, but it's something that I want to cover. When you go to China, you're not going to really have any US internet. So you can either get a SIM card, US internet. You're not going to really have good internet connection. So what you can do is when you get there, buy a SIM card, a Chinese SIM card, or you can call your phone company and tell them you're going to China and you should have like an international plan. But I think that's a little bit more expensive. It's like $15 a day to use if you go through your phone company. But you actually need to, whether you have a SIM card or whether company and tell them you're going to be in China, you're going to need something called a VPN. The one that I used was called Turbo VPN. It's kind of hard to explain, but you have to turn on the VPN in order to use internet outside of Wi-Fi. even sometimes with Wi-Fi. So when you're outside in China, walking around, going to vendors, you're not gonna have great service, but you are gonna need to download a VPN, and that's gonna allow you to use your internet and things like that. It still worked a little slow, honestly. It didn't have the highest speed, but it's better than not having any internet at all. So download Turbo VPN, or actually there's many VPN apps, but Turbo VPN is the one that I use when I was Anyways, you guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope that I helped. I hope it'll make your trip there run a little bit smoother. It'll be easier for you to get your trip ready. You know, as soon as this coronavirus is over, plan your trip to Guangzhou, get that business started, sis. Now that my China series videos are over, it took me a year to get them out, a little over a year, but it's okay. Better late than never. But now that the China videos are finally over, I hope that this helps you. I'm gonna be posting more business videos, business tips, how to get started, the startup, how to ship, how I started. I'm gonna post a lot more videos, so stay tuned for those. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. You better like my video because I put a lot of effort into this. I did my makeup, drawing something cute. I feel like I deserve a like and a subscribe. So I'll see you guys on my next video. Thank you.